Hello, welcome back. In this module, we are going to explore the faulty beliefs or the faith, right? And then the emotional regulations. So let's dive straight into it. I want to apologize for moving this thing all the time, but Loom can improve on this one by creating a little bit of a smaller circle because I cannot make this any smaller, so I have to like keep moving it on the screen. So I'm sorry if that's distracting. Anyway, we are rolling with what we have right now. All right. So, what if you have a great vision and a very strong why, but you don't believe you can actually achieve your dream? What if you believe that your vision is not possible for you, right? Or that it's going to take so much freaking time and energy that you feel overwhelmed before you even begin? Or what if you think that that your vision is going to take a lot of sacrifice and hard work, right? Or what if you believe that you are not worthy of that desire or that you are not good enough to have it? All of those thoughts I call faulty beliefs. They're faulty because they're not true. Well, they're true if you believe that they're true. Any thought that you believe it's true for you, but it's not true in general. So you get to choose what you want to believe in. However, thoughts like this, limiting beliefs like this, are causing us to lose faith in the inevitability of the success, right? Because, like, let's take this one. If you think that it's going to take a lot of sacrifices and hard work because somebody told you that good things don't come easy, or somebody told you that you must really put a lot of hard work before you can reap any benefits, that's what you believe it's true. But that's going to cause you to lose motivation very quickly, because who wants to struggle so much to eventually achieve that goal? Like, nobody wants to struggle. Or it's the same for every one of those thoughts, and this is definitely not an exclusive list. This is just a couple of thoughts that I personally had and I've picked that are also the most common ones. But if you didn't believe that your dream is attainable, or that it's easily attainable, or that it's possible for you, why would you stay motivated to keep going after that dream? You won't really. It's just, it's going to be hard. If you didn't think that your efforts are leading somewhere, and not just anywhere, but to your desired outcome, why would you keep putting efforts? Just think about that. Consistency is the hallmark of faith. We are consistent because we have faith that our efforts matter, that our efforts are leading somewhere. And here is a little example that I think could help you picture what I'm talking about. So, for example, if your desire is to lose 10 kg, so you can feel good and healthy and fit and have more confidence and pick up girls, boys, whatever, and you know that to achieve that goal, you need to exercise and cut out on junk food. You also know that if you keep exercising every single day and eat healthy for some period of time, even if you don't know, if you're not exactly sure for how long, you will definitely eventually lose that weight, right? And you know that your efforts here matter for sure on 100%. Why? Well, because you know that your desired outcome is inevitable, because scientifically that's the case, right? Scientifically, if I go to the gym every single day and eat healthy, I don't eat any junk food, I will eventually lose that weight. I don't know if it's going to be for a month or 2 or 3, but I know that scientifically my outcome is inevitable. So then you have total faith that it's going to work out for you if you just keep going. If you just stay consistent, you know that it's there for you. The price is there. It's going to happen. So having unshakable faith in the outcome is the only thing that keeps you consistent. Because, like, if you've ever tried to lose weight, you know that for the first month, you don't see much results, right? You don't really see, you see a little bit of results perhaps, but nothing too noticeable. So why do you keep going? Because you have faith in the outcome. That's why. So if you want to make $1 million, or you have that burning desire, but you don't believe that it's possible for you, you might act in moments of inspiration or anger, but that will eventually dissipate and your underlying beliefs will creep in. Because what we already discussed in the previous video is that your subconscious mind is the one calling the shots, is not your conscious mind. Because consciously you might want to be successful, and consciously you might want to have $1 million, but your conscious mind is not in alignment with your subconscious mind. It's giving error message. It's like it cannot read the signal. It cannot read the signal because your subconscious mind believes that that's not possible for you. So anytime you have, like, let's say a desire of, oh, I really want to make $1 million, your subconscious mind goes like, wrong, that's not going to happen for you. Don't fool yourself. And then it starts giving you all the limiting beliefs that you believe in. Nobody in your family is rich. In the past, you always failed, blah, 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 blah. So when your limiting beliefs creep in, then you lose motivation, because why would you keep going if you don't believe it's achievable? So thoughts like, what's the point? It's not going to work out for me. It's always been like that. It cannot change. Success is possible for others, but it's not possible for me. I'm just unworthy, undeserving, not good enough. Money doesn't grow on trees, right? Those are all limiting beliefs that are going to interfere with your natural drive and motivation. So here's the question. Here's the action step for you on this for this particular checkbox, which is the faith. I want you to consider this question and really think about it. How will you show up differently if you knew that your success is inevitable? Think about that. Really think about that. If right now, for some reason, you receive like facts from the universe, the God or whatever, that tells you, hey, if you just keep going, you will 100% achieve your dream. Like, it's inevitable, it's going to happen for you. How would you show up differently? I'm very curious. I want you to ponder on that question. Now, I want you to take a look at your vision. Once you're ready writing your vision, I want you to take a look and notice what sensations or thoughts come up as you read it. Because one thing that you should remember is that every limiting belief is tied to an emotion, and every emotion is also tied to a limiting belief. So for example, if you're reading your vision and then let's say you're writing something like, and I'm happily living in my mansion with my dream girl or dream boy, running like a multi-million-dollar business. While you're reading that, even though there might be a little bit of excitement there, because it's like, woo, exciting, sense what else come up as feelings. Is there like a little bit of a disbelief there? Like, do you feel a sensation of maybe a little anxiety or a little frustration or a little like, for me personally, was a feeling like of sadness, a little sadness, because I'm like, that's so nice, but it's not gonna work for me. That's so nice, but it's not possible for me, right? So just check what are the feelings that come up, and then try to find the limiting belief behind it, and vice versa, right? Like, once you whilst you're reading your vision, be aware of the inner dialogue that you're having and the thoughts that pop up, like things like, that's not possible for you, it never worked in the past, no, that's not gonna happen. Take those, find them, write them down, and challenge them. This is where you're actually going to work through your limiting beliefs and challenge them and rewire them. It's a process. It's not going to happen overnight, but once you get into the habit of checking in with yourself, what you are saying to yourself and what you're feeling. Like usually the feelings that are tied to a limiting belief come as a little tightness in the chest or in the stomach, or a little, it's not a pleasant feeling. It's not a pleasant feeling. Yeah, I'm not going to get into details why that is and about the nervous system, because yeah, that's a whole other topic. Hopefully I might integrate that in the future in this course, but for the moment I'm just going to keep it to the point. Okay, I like to talk a lot. Anyway, I don't know if you've heard about the work by Byron Katie, but this is an amazing model that you can use to challenge your limiting beliefs and rewire them. So the work consists of 4 questions that help you challenge the beliefs that you find whilst reading your vision. So, for example, you read your vision, and then the thought of, oh, that's not possible, comes up. Then you take that thought and then you question it. Question number 1, is it true? Is it true? Is it true that it's not possible for you? Your first response might be, yes, it's true, because it's so ingrained in your mind that success is not possible, that your first response is like, yeah, it's true. Then you question it again. Can you absolutely know it's true? Can you absolutely know it's true? If you ask 100 people to come right now, would they all agree that that's not true? Can you prove that in the court of law? If not, then it's not really true. It's just your thoughts, optional thoughts, right? So then you ask yourself, how do you react? What happens and when you believe that thought? How do you react? What happens when you believe that thought? And then you ask yourself, who would you be without that thought? Who would I be if I didn't believe that thought? Who would I be if I believed that everything is possible for me? Who would I be if I believed that success is inevitable for me? How will I show up differently if I believe that my success is inevitable? And you don't even have to lie to yourself to believe it. Just try it on, okay? Sometimes some limiting beliefs are very deeply ingrained, so it's not going to happen from the first time that you change them and switch them. But that doesn't mean that you cannot just experiment and curiously try thoughts on. That's a very good exercise, actually, as if you are trying on clothes, right? You don't know if you want to buy it yet, that t-shirt, but you can try it on and see how you feel wearing that thought of my success is inevitable. How would you feel, right? And then you just experiment. You allow yourself a little room there to play, right? To play with a different thought. See how that works for you. And just do that with every single limiting belief that you find out. And then we are on the avoiding an emotion part. We have reached the 4th checkbox, which is avoiding an emotion or emotional regulation. Okay, let's dive into it. Everything is in place now, okay? Your vision, your goals are in order, your why is so strong and awesome that it makes you want to cry from joy and excitement. You have now established empowering beliefs. You're 100% certain that your success is inevitable, but every now and then you find yourself stuck in inaction. And this is completely normal, because when we are growing, expanding, transforming, we are faced with a lot more challenging situations than usual. We are faced with a lot of fear, a lot of doubt, a lot of resistance. Our brain doesn't like change, and it feels safe staying right where it is, because that's familiar. So it's always going to want to choose the path of least resistance. Now, on the way to achieving our dream lives, we will fail many times. We will be embarrassed many times. We will feel stupid. We will screw things up. We will have to constantly go outside of our comfort zone to keep expanding our identity. So that's why we have to learn what to do with the emotions when they arise, how to manage them. And to be honest, guys, like, this is probably the most important skill you will acquire in your life. Not just to beat procrastination, to navigate life turbulences, to know how to deal with both positive and negative emotions, what to do with them. Because very often we tend to totally give into our animal impulses, or totally get overwhelmed with emotions that we are that we feel how do you call that in English? Forgot the word, like incapable of, like we lose balance, right? The point of emotional management is to help you learn neutrality, how to stay neutral in situations that would otherwise get you outside of your that will knock you out of your um, peace, right? I hope that makes sense. It's a little bit of a stoic approach as well, if you are familiar with the stoic philosophy. If you are if you are learning how to stay balanced, when you are sad, then you will really feel sad. When you're happy, you will really feel happy. But in general, okay, just like never mind, because I'm getting in a little bit of a um, different aspect of stoicism right now. So I'm just forget what I said. What I mean is that emotional management leads to balanced life. Okay, emotional management leads to balanced life. We want to learn how to manage our emotions so they don't cause us to act overly impulsive, right? That's what procrastination is reaction to an impulse. What is the impulse? Impulse of avoiding uh, the feeling of a negative emotion. Now, a lot of us are never taught how to manage our emotions, especially the negative ones. We are actually taught to fear negative emotions. We feel that it's bad, so we need to avoid them. We feel like there is something wrong with having them. So usually we try to escape from them by knocking ourselves unconscious, right? How do we do that? By procrastinating, overeating, over drinking, doing drugs, and so on. Because it requires courage, in my opinion, to face reality for what it is. To stay truly conscious and mindful is not freaking easy. It's like many times when I work with clients, they have that moment where uh, like where they get so conscious and aware of their limiting beliefs, of the emotions, of everything that's going on in their life. So it's almost like they turn on the light in a super messy room, and they straight away want to turn off the light again, because they're like, I don't want to deal with that. So what do? I'm gonna have a glass of wine, I'm gonna do drugs, I'm gonna overeat, I'm gonna procrastinate and over social mediaing and Netflixing, and I don't want to deal with any of that. I want to put the curtain down and just not deal with any of that. But like it's almost like remember the movie The Matrix? Like, which pill do you want to take? Do you want to stay in the simulation, in the world where everything is seemingly fine, but in reality you know that you're sitting on a like a stinking pile of whatever, and you're trying to sprinkle glitter on it, right? Pretend that it's not there, but when in reality it's really stinky. Or do you want to take the other pill and face reality for what it is, get to know yourself for who you really are, experience the full range of human emotions, because they're not just good. Like they're not always pleasant. They're sometimes unpleasant, but that's part of the human experience, right? Like life is always 50-50. We are not meant to always feel good. We are meant to feel the full range of human emotion. Yeah, we forget that life is always 50-50. We are meant to feel both positive and negative, and there is nothing inherently bad about the negative emotion. Okay, it's the same like the positive one is just is negative. It's what we make it mean and our perception of it that creates fear around it. Sometimes we even fear the feeling of fear more than we actually are afraid of the thing we think we are afraid. We are avoiding negative emotions because we are not taught how to process them. No one teaches us that stuff. Like no one in school is teaching us freaking emotional intelligence and how to, like, they teach you about math and geography and all of that, but nobody's teaching you how to actually navigate life, right? Like in the pure sense of facing challenges and keeping your sanity, because that's what emotional intelligence is. um, so everything that we do in life is to either feel good or avoid feeling bad. That's it. And if you want to achieve a certain goal because of how you want to achieve a certain goal because of how you think it's going to make you feel when you get it, right? Happy, excited, accomplished, proud. And let's say you avoid putting yourself out there on social media because you're afraid of being judged by others, okay? But what you really fear is what will it feel like to get embarrassed or humiliated, right? So here's a very cool exercise I want to give you. Let's say that you fear embarrassing yourself, and that's why you aren't putting yourself on social media. You aren't recording videos because you are so dearly afraid of embarrassing yourself. Fine. Now imagine a little alien comes over and asks you, "Hello, what does embarrassment feel like? Why are you so afraid of it?" How are you going to describe what embarrassment feels like to that little alien? Well, you are sweating a little bit, your heart is racing, you turn red, and all of that for a few minutes. So scary. But just think about that. The thing that we're so dearly afraid of, it's just a little bit of sweat, a little bit of heart racing, you turn red, and that's it. So scary. Now, when you think of it in this way, it really takes the pressure off of you're like detaching yourself from the idea that you had built. And you're like, okay, it's not actually that scary. Negative emotion is like a positive one, as I already said. Every emotion, and the negative one, is just a vibration in the body. It is completely harmless. It cannot do anything to you. So if you learn how to let it be there instead of fighting it like crazy, you will actually be unstoppable. Because remember what I said, everything we do in life is to either feel good or avoid feeling bad. Now, if everything we do in life is to feel a good emotion or to avoid feeling bad, if you learn how to manage your emotion, you will literally be unstoppable. If you want to do public speaking gig or something, just thinking that if the worst happens, let's say the worst is somebody laughs at you, the worst that can happen is a little bit of sweat and a little bit of heart racing, and that's it. It's like, okay, fine. If I learn how to deal with that and with my interpretation of the emotions, then I'll be freaking unstoppable. When we are just about to do something challenging, in the split second in which we hesitate and decide that, let's say, rearranging your desktop icons is more important, we are avoiding what our brain perceives as a negative emotion. So the negative emotion could be it's some sort of pain, right? The pain is, oh, the task is challenging, it's boring, it's time consuming, it's energy consuming, it's difficult. All of that, your brain perceives it as like, it could be waste of energy because your brain is made to preserve energy, right? Like to conserve as much energy as possible. Uh, so again, if your why is not important enough, your brain will be like, why would I spend energy doing that task if it's not that important, right? I can just reserve that energy. Or yeah, so in that split second, I'm getting ahead of myself again. Sorry about that. I'm just getting so excited to explain that. In the split seconds in which we decide to rearrange the desktop icon instead of actually doing what we need to do, we just avoid a negative emotion. So now, instead of indulging in the false sense of relief and escape from that negative emotion, we can choose to face it. We can choose to face it. Now, imagine that you're getting a shot in the hospital. You know that the feeling of the needle pricking your skin will be a little bit unpleasant, but you don't go out screaming in the hallway like crazy, trying to avoid the mild discomfort, like, oh my gosh, no, I don't want to feel that, I don't want to feel that. What do? What do? You just take a little moment, take a deep breath, And then you just let the needle prick your skin, knowing that it's not going to kill you, literally. It's just going to feel mildly uncomfortable. And that's it. You don't go out crazily running in the hallway. What you would usually do is take a deep breath, brace yourself, let the needle prick your skin, knowing that it won't do anything to you. This is the key point here, guys, that the emotion is harmless. It won't do anything to you. It is the same with processing emotions and beating procrastination. You know that doing your taxes, let's say if that's the challenging task, won't be the most pleasant activity in the world, but if you can just lean into the emotion and surrender to it, all of a sudden you get yourself in action and build momentum. Another example I like to give is that let's say you are about to take a cold shower, like you're taking a cold shower, like it's not comfortable, but let's say you go and you do it, and then if you are under the cold water resisting it and you're like, no, I don't want to feel it, oh, it's so cold, it's gonna be 5 times colder and 5 times more unpleasant. But if you just surrender to it and lean into the experience, all of a sudden it's not that bad, and you can actually handle it, and you can actually control yourself, right? It's the same thing, guys. Like, I feel like the key to overcoming procrastination is to just lean into what your brain perceives to be a negative emotion, and face it instead of resisting it, because the more you resist it, the more you intensify it. So when you let it go and just lean into it, you actually see that your fear of the negative emotion was much stronger than the actual negative emotion. And then you build momentum, and then you just keep going. And then what happens is you build that as a skill. And then it gets easier and easier and easier each and every other time to lean into those emotions. And that's the procrastination checklist. I really, really hope that you found this helpful. I really think that this formula is everything you need to beat procrastination. And yeah, I hope that you found some answers for yourself. And I would love if you ask yourself those questions. Did you already get clarity on the reasons why you procrastinate? Do you already know which boxes do you tick? Box or boxes? It could be one, it could be many, it could be all of them. Take a minute to ponder on that. Life is constantly teaching us new things and challenging us with every next level you get to, right? Like you expand and grow, and you need to keep evolving and clear limiting beliefs as you go. It's not something that you do once and you're like, okay, I'm done. No, you just keep going, and then you adjust your vision as you go. You keep managing your emotions as you go, because if you don't need to manage all of that, you will be dead. Like, life is not a constant. Living beings are not a constant. It's not something fixed. It's constantly moving, constantly changing. That's what emotion also is. Emotion is energy in motion. So we have to learn how to be flexible and how to play around with that, how to play around with life, how to take it a little bit less seriously, how to get curious instead of judgmental, how to be curious instead of analytical, right? How to just explore instead of rationalize all the time. You will get better and better at doing this. So eventually it will become second nature to you. It will be like, bring it on. Whatever emotion there is, I'm willing to face it. So I'm not afraid of anything, right? So here's my formula for achieving anything in life. My formula is to try again, and then keep trying. For the first try, you need to have a compelling vision and a strong why. To try again, you need to build resistance to overcoming failure and adversity. And then to keep trying, you need to have enough faith in the outcome, so you stay consistent until you get there. That's pretty much what it is. And this whole course just explains that, I hope. I hope it made sense to you. And this is a graph of what we spoke about: crushing procrastination, vision, purpose, emotions, and beliefs. These are the 4 pillars. If you master those, you are freaking unstoppable. And if you can also notice, this is not just about procrastination. Like, these 4 pillars are basically what you need to succeed in anything, like to actually achieve your goals. That's pretty much what you need. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here, for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. I hope you found this helpful. Bye.